Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to The Real Way. These real stories of real people in a real community working to serve Christ in a real way. My name is Brandon Morrell. I am the Director of Youth Evangelization and Digital Ministry at St. Thomas Aquinas and Our Lady Help of Christians. And today we're at Our Lady Help of Christians and we have our next guest. So I'm going to let her introduce herself, kind of get to know what she does, and we'll go from there.
Justine, Sacristan, normal everyday is setting up for the mass and whatever has to be ordered or what supplies the church needs, I take care of, and all.
Right. No, that's right. So Justine, I'm sure people have seen you around for some time, but I think that this thing is good to give people some context. So how long have you been involved at Our Lady? What keeps you around? Why do you love this place?
I've been a parishioner for 37 years.
Okay.
I've been working at Our Lady Help of Christians since 2014. Our former pastor, Father Ralph Caputo, was looking for a sacristan, and the former secretary, Mary, told him that my brother was a priest. I came in for an interview, and Father Ralph fired me.
Ah, okay. All right. And so what do you think is just one of the things I love about both St. Thomas and Our Lady is there really is a sense of family I can see amongst the parishioners and the people. But what would you say to that?
There definitely is, on an everyday basis, but also they show their love to you and whatnot in the time of need, or in the time of a family member dying or whatever. They're very, it's a very close-knit parish. It's an elderly parish. The parishioners have been around, you got parishioners 50, 60 years.
Wow.
That have been here and all. But I would say at the time that you need them the most is when they step up. They step up like to help out with certain, events for the church and whatnot. We have different groups that take care of, like the Christmas party. The Filipino community is very active at Easter time. They have an Easter egg hunt for the children and whatnot. We have the Rosary Society who has a brunch, and everybody, helps out or signs up to go to the event and whatnot and all. It's a very close-knit family, I would say.
Right. And I mean, the family is important, right? I think, especially within the parish, right? People are coming to the church to seek Christ and Christ's family, and seeing people that have been involved for so many years.
Yes, and whatnot. And I'm not saying it's challenging at times because I'm dealing with a lot of people, all different personalities and whatnot. And there are just some that, they want what they want and all. But, it's, it is a rewarding because you do get satisfaction that you're helping people. The church belongs to the people and whatnot and all. And that's, more rewarding and whatnot. And of course, when we have a bishop or a special mass, Christmas time, Easter time, the setup is completely different and whatnot. And there's a lot of preparation. Father Josh is very good, and I've worked with Father Josh for a number of years, so I know the way he wants things and how the setup is. I work Monday through Friday. I do have Brian, who's the sacristan, on Saturday and Sunday, but also helps out on holidays or special events and whatnot and all.
Gotcha. And, I mean, you've been around for some time. I'm sure you've seen it go through some changes. You've seen kind of as things have developed. What do you think is the thing that's kind of special about Our Lady that, I mean, we've already said it with the sense of family and community, but like, is there anything specific you're like, man, this makes our parish special in a unique way?
I would just say the way the people step up and are always there to they offer to help him and whatnot and all. It's just not only it's the parish community, but it's the friendship that you have with the people outside the church and whatnot at all. You're not only friends with them because they belong to the parish, but on the outside you have relationships with some of the parishioners and whatnot and all.
Right. And what's your personal favorite? Is it connected stem to that, or is there something else? Do you have a favorite season or celebration or something that we do here?
time is not my favorite time. Like,
Well,
I could never understand, because my brother was a priest, that he was always Easter time or he was always so tired and exhausted until I started working here. And then you have Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and then you have, the preparation, Holy Saturday, and the preparation for, the Lord's, the Easter Vigil and whatnot and all. But it's challenging. It's a lot of work that goes into it. But at the end, when everybody compliments and you see Father is very happy with the way things go, you know that you appreciate it
right.
and whatnot. And you get satisfaction because you know you did your job well.
Right. And I mean, I say this to people all the time. It seems for those big seasons, right? Advent, Lent, Holy Week, those times for the people, these are probably some of the biggest moments where they're having these encounters with Jesus. But for those that are on the inside, putting things together, we need a retreat for that week.
Exactly. I mean, Christmas time is rewarding too because, we have the giving tree and it's amazing the number of gifts that the parishioners, donate for all different ages, from infants, to adult teenagers, and even for the adults and whatnot. The number of gifts that we get is just so overwhelming. It is, it's unbelievable and whatnot and all.
Right. So now let's back up because, okay, you're a sacristan, you're giving us some kind of insight to you here, but let's learn Justine as a person a little bit, right? So it's you, your brother who's a priest, right?
Yes.
What's your brother's name?
He passed away with Father John.
Father John. Is it just you two or other?
No, I have an older brother.
Another older brother. Okay. And so did you grow up in a household of faith? Was it something that kind of developed later?
No, we did. Years ago, growing up, I grew up in St. Aquinas Parish and all. My father was years ago they called him the custodian, not the maintenance man.
Okay.
My mother was cook at the St. Rose, used to go on vacation. My mother used to cook for the priest and whatnot. So it was always growing up, always being surrounded by priests and the community in which we worshipped and whatnot and all. So
Gotcha. So what brought you? I mean, you grew up there, and then you got here. Was there some other parishes in between? Was it a moving thing? What?
Yeah. After my father passed away, we moved out of St. Rosalina Parish. I moved into Good Shepherd for a short period of time, and then I moved here to Our Lady Help of Christians and whatnot and all. So,
Gotcha. And so, what would you say again? Because one of the reasons we came up with this little podcast interview thing. One, we realized Father Dwayne, pastor, he says this phrase in a real way quite a bit, but I thought it was actually a good way of thinking, because sometimes our faith seems like so much head knowledge or God is up in the clouds, right? And it's like, no, there are real people doing real things. What would you say, like, for you has been a big impact for you in your own faith journey in life?
just the way I was raised, I would say. My mother and father were, we went to church every Sunday. I mean, we went to a Catholic school. It's just our upbringing and the way we were raised. We didn't know anything else, couldn't miss Mass on Sunday unless you were sick and whatnot and all, but it carries through life and all. My mother went to Mass every single morning until she passed away. She would never miss Mass. Even if she was sick, I had to take her to church. It's just the way we were raised, and years ago, the way, we grew up and whatnot and all.
Right. No, I mean, so would you say, like, the importance of that would be, like, moving, like, kind of real way takeaway is, like, hey, when families actually come together and they share their faith and they live their faith, they transmit their faith, you can see lifelong.
Yes, exactly. I mean, my father's side of the family were very religious, and so was my mother's side of the family and whatnot. My grandmother raised 10 children on her own. My grandfather died in 1916 and all. She was pregnant with my last, her last child, my uncle, and whatnot. And also she raised all these children, all those number of years, and she died in the 50s on her own. And it was, I think that's what kept the family together was their faith and whatnot and all.
Right. And I'm sorry, I'm thinking back. I had asked, if there was a favorite thing here, but I guess maybe it's a two. And we kind of said like, what wasn't your favorite? But so, what's your favorite thing here? But is there any like thing that we do just in our Catholic celebrations that, as a whole, or Catholic devotionals or anything that?
It's just, how can I put the? It's. I was raised with the church the old way, not the modern. I mean, we grew up. We had Latin for mass and whatnot and all, but Father Josh and everything is I call it the old school.
Okay.
Very traditional, very, by the book and whatnot and all. You go to some churches and it's very, very modern and, the Mass is not the same. It's more reverent here and whatnot and all. Like I said, it's the old school.
Yeah. Well, a sense of reverence in approaching God in general is important.
Yes, and whatnot and all. I mean, I don't know how else to, I mean, there's not like shortcuts through the Mass or anything else like that. The Mass is the Mass and it's said a certain way and whatnot and all.
Okay. Well, all right. Any last major thoughts that you feel like you would like to share? One about this community or about yourself or just even about our Catholic faith in general. People.
One thing I will say, from the time I moved in 37 years ago, it was all Catholics.
Mm-hmm.
Now the neighborhood has changed, like a lot of parishes are finding out. But even though the neighborhood has changed, the people still come, and we still have a strong community. And even though it's an elderly community, they might not come, but they still support the church and whatnot, which is good. So, and they know that they can depend on us if they need something and whatnot. We try to reach out to the homebound people and or with communion or anything that they need and whatnot and all. So just in general, it's maybe it's the area, the neighborhood or whatever. It's still the neighborhood. The people might have changed as far as religion-wise, but the small group of people that are still here, it's still treated as if it was from way back when.
Right. There's a continuity. Yeah. Great. Well, no, thank you, Justine. Thank you guys for watching. This is The Real Way. Real stories, real people, looking to serve Christ in a real way. See y'all next one. God bless.